everyone, this particular video tutorial is going to help you to download rubrics, be able to import them into your rubric tool area, and modify or edit them. What I'm going to be providing to you are templates of rubrics from Blackboard. These are exemplary rubrics. Now a rubric is going to be important to your communication tools and also many of your assignments. And what's nice about having a template is that there's already sets of criteria that you can actually edit. You can delete some of the criteria that doesn't apply, or you can actually make a rubric from scratch within Blackboard. Hopefully you've enjoyed looking at the rubrics that I've provided in the threaded discussion forums and also in some of the assignment areas. Okay, so let's get started. I'm on the lesson plan in your learning module for effective teaching practices, and I'm going to actually jump through the table of contents. I hope you've enjoyed using the table of contents where you can actually go out of order to some of the sequential items. Now this tells you a little bit about the sample rubrics that I'm providing and how you can actually download them, but we're going to be doing this step by step together. Notice that you have attached files. When you click on the link, it's going to open up an area where the files are all zipped up. Now I want you to understand that these are zipped files. So if you do download them and you try to open them and read them, you're not going to be able to, because they are configured to be imported into Blackboard's rubric area, and that's where you're going to be able to modify, edit them, delete them, do whatever you'd like with them. So let's just think about what rubrics you're going to be needing. There are 5 different types of rubrics. I suggest that you download all of them, because once we import them into your rubric tool area, you can delete them again and modify them to your expectations. To actually select all of them, I'm just going to click on this little checkbox on the top, and every one of the rubrics are selected. I'm going to click on Download Package. And I want you to notice that right here on the left-hand side, I have my rubric package. This is where my downloads have gone to. So you're going to probably find those downloads in your download folder. So I can click on Show All Downloads. And there they are. Now, because I've downloaded all 5 of the templates, I'm going to need to actually open them. I'm going to open them as separate zip files, so just follow with me and I'll show you what I mean. Okay, so this is in my download area. They're all together in this folder, and unfortunately Blackboard doesn't allow us to import all of them together, so we have to extract them all. So what I've done is I actually did a right click on this rubric folder here. Dialog box opened up. I can extract, and you're going to see these folders start to appear. It might just take a couple of seconds. And there they are. Now, they're all 5 individual. There's blogs, discussions, events, and writing assignments. We're going to go into the Blackboard Classroom right now, into the control panel under Course Tools to Rubrics, and we are going to import them individually. Again, unfortunately, Blackboard doesn't allow us to import multiple zip files in this particular area. That's different than the file management area where you can upload multiple files. Okay, so I want you to take note of this. When you downloaded the rubrics, you were in my class as a student. Now, in order to import them, you need to be in your developmental shell. And we're going to go to this control panel. So now I'm going to go over to Course Tools, and I'm going to drop down the menu, and I'm going to locate Rubrics. Once we've located Rubrics, we're going to click on the link, It's going to take us to the rubric tool area. Now notice I already have quite a few rubrics. I've been using the templates and I've been modifying them, editing them, even making some from scratch. So now we're going to go up here to the Import Rubric button and click on that, and look it's going to show us Browse My Computer. I'm going to click on Browse My Computer because I know they're in my Downloads folder, and if you've moved them, just make sure you remember where they are, and remember they are all unzipped. That's how I need to bring them in. They need to be individually zipped. So now what I would do to import those in to my rubric area, I'm going to select one at a time, and then I click on Open, and then you'll see the file name attached, and if you made a mistake you can click on Do Not Attach and go get the next file. Again, that's only if you brought in something other than a zip file. Very important, it needs to be a zip file. And then you can click on Submit, and it shouldn't take too long. You're going to see this rubric import results. Hopefully they're going to be successful. And then you can click on OK, and there you have your rubric in your rubric area. Okay, so now again, I already have my rubrics here. So for example, if this is the one that I just brought up, I know this is a template, and that seems to be the correct date, and this is who the author of this particular rubric is, and I would click on the drop down chevron and I can open it and take a look at it, and once I take a look at it I can click on Edit. Now what I've done is just gone straight to Edit, and there you can actually look at it this way and make some changes. Or you can cancel that once you look at it, because what a good idea is to actually make a copy of it first. So you could actually click on the drop down chevron, click on copy. That way you preserve the original just in case you want to go back and make some additional changes, or you actually delete some columns and criteria and rows that you would like to get back. The easiest way is to make a copy. Notice this says copy, and then you can click on the drop down chevron, click on Edit, and you could actually change this name and take some of this off. What I've done is I've actually put the name of the course in here, because you can export and import rubrics from class to class, or move them, or actually copy them when you do a copy course. So there's a variety of ways to move them from course to course. And then you might want to put a little bit of information about the rubric. You do not necessarily have to keep that information unless you wanted to. You might put your own description about the rubric. And then as you come down here, you're looking at the rubric criteria, and you can actually change some of these levels of achievement. I haven't always liked what they've called each level of achievement. I've actually changed some of those. To change those, you're just going to click on the drop down chevron, click on Edit. And I always like to use the word developing, or something positive, I guess. And so if you like that, you can keep that. Now you can add columns, so you could add another criteria, and you can also add a row. So you could add some more of the criteria down here. Now what I like about this template is I've used these templates before, and I've actually just made some additional changes to each of the levels of achievement. And I even have changed some of these names. Anyway, have fun with this, use this, and then I will show you. You're going to submit once you have made those changes, and then I'm going to show you how you can actually associate this rubric in a threaded discussion. That's the goal for this week. So I'm going to go into my discussion board, and I'm going to open one of my threaded discussions that doesn't already have a rubric. Now, I wouldn't necessarily use a rubric for the Q&A cafe, but for purposes of this tutorial, I'm going to show you how that works. All right, so oops, I got to go back a little bit. I went inside the forum. I really need to edit the forum. So I'm going to go over here to the drop-down chevron. I'm going to click on Edit. And this is where all my options and the description of my forum is, the availability. But I want you to notice that in order to see the rubric option, you're going to need to put some points in here. So in this case, I'm going to select Grade Discussion Forum, put some points in here. Maybe I could do that. Put some points for participating in the Q&A. Again, this is just an example. You would most likely be doing this with a forum that you're going to put points on. And then notice I have Add Rubric. Now, yes, I could create a rubric from here or create one from existing, but I like to do things behind the scenes. You can decide later what's expedient for you. I'm going to click on Select Rubric because I've done all my work behind the scenes. And I'm going to go and find that one rubric for, well, in this case, I edited one for blogs, and I'm not using blogs, but I'm going to find the one that I used for discussions. I have edited that and made it my own. And actually, notice I've changed some of the description. And I'm going to click on Submit, and this is how you're going to see that it's associated. Now, it's giving me a little dialog box, and it's saying, is it okay to assign the rubric's maximum points as the points possible? And I didn't show you all of that. That's what you're going to have to pay attention to when you're doing the points in the rubric. You're going to have to make sure that the points add up to 100%. You might do percentages. I like to do points. Sometimes I've done point ranges, but it's just asking me, okay, the maximum points in that rubric, is that all right if I make the maximum points as far as the grade? So that was 10 in my rubric. And so you can make sure that it's used for grading. This is the last date that it was edited. And then I'm going to make sure that it says yes with rubric scores. All right, this gets a little tricky sometimes. Sometimes I have to hold down my mouse and then just move over. I don't know if you've experienced that with your browser. Now it says yes with rubric scores. So we want to show the rubric to students. It's so important, I think, for you to see ahead of time what the expectations are. Can you imagine this associated with one of your assignments that you've used? Again, I want you to consider this. It would be the same thing when you're setting up an assignment. As long as you're putting points in here, you'll see this Add Rubric. The same thing will be in a wiki, in a blog, and journals, I believe. So anyway, some of these tools, as soon as you see this Add Rubric, will allow you to associate rubrics. They have to be there already, or you can create one from scratch. I hope you enjoy the templates. I really have enjoyed working with them. And as you remember, make sure that I'm going to just get there to make sure that you see this. We're going to make sure that we submit. That way we will have embedded our rubrics in our threaded discussion in this case. All right, I hope that's helped. Thank you very much. I look forward to seeing some of your rubrics.